A very warm welcome. Today we have with us Mr. Mihir Gandhi, who is the partner and leader at payment transformation at PwC. A very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for joining at CXO TV.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, sir. So before we proceed, we would actually like to hear from you how your journey has been so far over the years. If you can share some insight with our audience.
Sure. No, I think it's been fantastic having been associated with the Fintech and payments, sector since almost 12, 13 years, have seen the growth of this sector in India. And, it's been really kind of taken India to the next level in terms of the innovations, the different regulatory support, the fintechs that have come in, the banks that have come in. So I think it's really interesting, and we are fortunate to be part of this journey, and we hope that more things come our way, and we are poised to be even on a stronger footing going forward.
Absolutely. I would like to understand, how has the digital payment transformed, especially in terms of the deliverables to the customers, and if you can share some insight as to how digital payment solutions have enhanced customer experience over the period.
Sure. So I think earlier when we used to go to make any purchases at a physical store or even a P2P, it used to be largely paper-based, either cash or any other kind of channel. Then card came into the picture, and I think truly the revolution has been when the mobile has come into the play, and a lot of customers are given that opportunity to transact online through their mobiles, either through UPI or wallet or any other kind of app. And that has helped the customers to make it very, very easy to make the payment in terms of making it convenient, seamless, and making it happen from anywhere, wherever they are, either they're sitting at home or in the office. So I think that's really been the transformation for customers. A, giving them the convenience, B, giving them the option. So I am not necessarily need to open a wallet. I can also do it through my bank account. I have a card. So all the options are there for me as a customer, and I can use whichever is, beneficial for me or easy for me to kind of understand and use. So I think that is second. And third is the security element, where customers have been given that security, that trust that, the digital payment is a secured way of making the transaction, and they are not, afraid or scared to kind of put their money on an online way, or they are afraid that someone will take their money. So I think that is also overcome, and a lot of efforts have been put in by regulator, by banks, by fintechs and other entities to make that transformation.
Okay. So, from your perspective, we would like to know what are some of the most impactful innovations that have taken place in considering the traditional methods that have actually reshaped the traditional payment methods.
Sure. So I think by far the one of the largest innovations in India is the UPI, right? Because with UPI we are able to make payments seamlessly, and there are really a lot of innovations on UPI, which is like the UPI Lite, right, or the UPI on credit card, which has come in recently. So I think those innovations have helped the customer to kind of use digital payments, including UPI, very, very seamlessly. So I think that's one. Second is on the cards front, the contactless card, which is like a tap and go, has also been one of the innovative solutions where people can just tap their cards below a specific limit, and they don't need to enter the PIN, and they can complete the transaction. So I think that's the second one. And from a RBI perspective, the security, customer safety, the funds of the customer should be safe. So they've again created an online dispute resolution kind of portal, which is again one of the innovations, where a customer can log in the complaint if there is a dispute and track end to end, where that complaint is there or stuck. So, that is a good way of, making those customers feel more secure and able to track whatever. And these 2 or 3 innovations have really transformed. Obviously, then there are things like FASTag, which is again, a unique thing where you just put it on the sticker and you drive through, and the toll automatically gets debited. You don't need to give cash and wait for the change. So all those things are constantly evolving. But I think, NPC has done a fantastic job with the support of regulator and all the ecosystem players like banks and fintechs.
Absolutely. So, we are seeing such emerging technologies, be it the cryptocurrencies. So, if you can share some insights, like how these emerging trends are going to shape the future of the financial sector.
So I think cryptocurrencies are not legally allowed in India, because there was supposed to be like a bill that was going to be passed, but I think that is not yet passed. So blockchain, which is the underlying technology, which is the hyperledger technology, which is a distributed ledger technology that we say, I think that is being piloted in specific cases like CBDC, which is a new kind of payment instrument which RBI has launched last year, and it's on a pilot basis. But I think that is something which will see the usage of distributed ledger technology, which is the same technology which blockchain is based on. But cryptocurrencies, I think, are not kind of permissible, and from a regulatory perspective, RBI doesn't look at it too favorably.
Okay. So, we are seeing so much of innovations as well. So, innovations are taking place, and we would like to understand, like, there are so much of complexities in terms of regulatory alliance. So, how are the financial institutions catering to that aspect?
So I think, when fintechs and traditional financial institutions come together, I think earlier it was like, whose customer is it, right? So banks are still very, and rightly so, it's their customer, and they've kind of given them the financial access and the facilities in so many years. But I think with fintechs coming in, they've just added in that extra product value proposition or the technology which banks couldn't do, or they didn't have the focus to do at that point of time. So what I would say is, from an innovation perspective, banks and fintechs have to come together, be more partners, and give the customer the best solution that fintech can bring on the table with the trust and security and access of the banking kind of channels.
Okay.
So I think both of them coming together have to work together in a partnership model. It cannot be like a competitive kind of model. That is not going to work. And you've seen a lot of partnership models with fintechs, with banks working very well in India for different use cases like credit or for payments, for a wealth kind of management thing. So I think it will build further onto that. And the regulator is doing a very good job in defining or regulating how these partnerships will come together, what fintechs will have to give, what banks will have to give. Even NBFCs, which have been the traditional kind of financial institutions, even they are now being brought into this fray. So I think it's going to be a good partnership ecosystem for fintechs, banks, NBFCs, which will lead to more innovations going forward.
Okay. So, we actually have seen, like, security is one of the most paramount thing when it comes to digital payments. So, as per your ideology and your recommendation into the trust, how to gain the trust of the customers in as well as maintaining their financial transactions, safeguarding rather their financial transaction?
Sure. So I think from a technology and security perspective, I think we are doing pretty well in terms of the security. OTP is one that we have, right, which normally we get OTP. The world is going for other second factor authentication, but I mean, we'll have to see, like, it could be a face or it could be a touch, biometrics. All those will come up, and they already started in India. From a customer perspective, I think the awareness where, the customer is made aware not to share a password or not to give his credentials or his card details to another person is the most important, because sometimes you just get a call, say, I'm speaking from XYZ bank or, some other company, and I want your card details or a CVV number, which is not good, right? So that awareness for the customer has to be made more better. And, banks, regulators are already doing a lot of efforts in that direction. Second, from a security perspective, I think we are already good. I mean, the number of frauds that we have are very, very less. But I think something like a dispute resolution mechanism, which is very transparent, which is online, will help the customers to see where the dispute is there, where it is stuck, and how it can be quickly resolved, which is already implemented recently. I think that's a step in the right direction for customer safety, security. And obviously, if there are any players that are not adhering to this, then regulator will pull them up, will try to govern them in the overall kind of ambit and take it forward.
Right. So, digital payment has the potential to foster financial inclusion. So, could you share some insight as to how accessible payment solution can actually help in this genre?
Sure. So, I think we've come a long way, right, in terms of how, both from a usage perspective of the customers and the acceptance side, with merchants or even people in the rural villages and all, how they're accepting digital payments. So, I think I recently saw some video where they said that how a vegetable vendor who's sitting on the road is selling vegetables, however she is able to accept digital payment because there is a QR code sticker on the back of her weighing scale which is there. So she was selling vegetables and someone asked, is there an online kind of way to make payments? And you just flip that vessel which used to measure the vegetables, the weight, and there was a sticker over this, so you can pay. So I think that's the extent of the reach where we have gone. So I think that's great. I think more efforts do need to come in, to educate people in the rural areas. And even from a infrastructure perspective, I think contactless is a good thing, but offline payments, where if the technology is not there, if the telecom communication is not there, network is not there, then offline payments, which again regulator has recently introduced, will help to make the payments seamlessly in those areas where network is not available for a specific value of payments which is below X value.
Okay.
So I think that is all happening. And financial inclusion is being provided. We were the earliest to open bank accounts for everyone, a zero kind of balance account, Jandhan accounts, and now obviously they are being used, deposits are there in that. So we are giving all that access and also infrastructure reach in the rural areas to enable digital payments over there.
So exactly what challenges when it comes to rural area or underserved population? So what challenges do you think that is paramount in this aspect, and how exactly could that be better?
So I think challenges, I think the more I say the awareness. So people need to be more aware that there are so many digital payment, you can use it for this. See, the new age population, which are the younger population, are aware. They are used to using a mobile, they're used to downloading apps, they will use digital payments, including UPI. But I think we need to make aware of different segments of population, which could be the older segments. Secondly, I think reinforcing the security part, right? That don't share your password, don't share your PIN, all those things, don't share your card details, don't share your bank account UPI details. I think that will be important. And also in some of these ways, how you can make it more easy for the customers to understand and use digital payments. So I think as word of mouth will help to, spread, especially in rural areas where there's like a mandi concept and people come together. So I think all those things will help, but we are doing a good job on that front.
Right. So, in terms of this aspect, I completely agree where you are talking about like we as India, wherein even small vendors are accepting UPI, and a recent report says like 10 billion transaction has already happened in terms of UPI. So, but there is also some users who are, hesitant and skeptical in terms of accepting this online or digital payment this aspect. So, what exactly do you want to suggest, or how can that be expanded in terms of the adoption and the acceptance of digital payment?
Yeah, I think it is earlier the pricing was a concern, right? And then the government made pricing zero, like it's zero MDR for merchants to accept digital payments for UPI and RuPay cards. So I think that is one step. Second is merchants were afraid of the fraud aspect, right? When I spoke to a few of the merchants, they said that we will not accept digital payments because they show that it is done, but it doesn't come into my account, right? So that fraud aspect, some people are still hesitant. While that is not the case on ground, but I think they need to be more aware, more comfortable, maybe given more confidence or more incentives to kind of move to digital payments.
Right. So, in terms of the financial institutions and the fintech companies, they are together like evolving. So, now in terms of the collaboration happening, what do you think how is it going to shape the future of the digital payments?
So I think all the partnerships, all the use cases that will be developed should be developed keeping customer in mind. Like what does the customer need today, right? So if I'm struggling to make one type of payment, then can a fintech and bank come together, give a use case or develop a technology or a platform that will help me to easily do it, right? So bill payments was one example earlier, right? And that's where NPCI came in with this bill payments platform where fintechs like BillDesk, PayU, Paytm, all of them came onto them and started enabling that. So customer just gets like a alert that my bill is due. I will not forget it that it is coming up or something, and I quickly make my bill payment. It could be a mobile phone bill, it could be electricity bill, whatever. So that is one example. So I think having the customer at the center is going to be very important for fintechs and banks to develop sustainable partnerships. Second, the technology that they use should be future-proof. It should be scalable, and like it can be on the cloud. It can be easily kind of scalable, configurable, because the rules and regulations are changing of digital payments by the regulator. So the technology should be adaptable to different changes that may come in the future.
2 minutes now. Okay. So, looking ahead, what do you think are going to be the upcoming trends that are going to shape the future of the digital payments?
So I think cards and mobile payments, which is UPI payments, will still coexist, right? I think the use cases which we are introducing and innovating, like UPI Lite and toll payments, transit payments, there could be something on the government side where government payments for a smart city or a municipal corporation can come in the future. So I think all these will help. Then CBDC is a new trend that has been launched. We expect that to pick up on the wholesale and retail side. And if we can get that for cross-border transactions, then even that can help going forward. So I think that is the second one. And third, I would say on, the innovative features like a face recognition or a biometric recognition, which is already there, or voice, which NPC has also done some pilots on. I think that will just give that little bit kind of innovative or wow factor to the customers to try it, right? Having said that, again, the offline technology is important. Where there is no network connection in the rural areas, then the offline payments will be important to complete this. I think we're covering all segments of the population, and India is like a really big country with different demographics, different kind of people. Young people are more easy to kind of get in the space, but the old people are not. Again, rural people have to be educated more. The infrastructure access has to be given to them. So a lot of things are happening in the right direction. We just have to kind of be part of this
and work towards
it. Yeah.
So how like as you mentioned these technologies, how do you think that the businesses should adapt to such changes that is actually going to reshape?
So businesses are already adopting. They, like, for example, the large manufacturing companies or even retail companies, they are adopting and using digital payments for receiving money, for paying money to their suppliers and all those people. And that is already happening. Maybe more awareness and more security can be given to them, and that is how.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining at CXO TV and sharing your insightful knowledge with our audience and sharing your time with us.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here and share the views. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.